Good morning all of you. Welcome back to course Database Management System. So our today's topic is trigger in database. So here we are going to discuss what is the use of trigger in the database, what is the syntax for trigger, how to create trigger along with the syntax, then example, and finally we see the what are the different operations that we are going to perform on the trigger. So first of all, we just try to understand what do you mean by trigger. So trigger is nothing but I will give a simple example to demonstrate the example of trigger. Whenever we want to delete a particular folder, so in that case what you are going to do, you just right click on that folder and click on delete. So before deleting this folder, you are getting message, are you sure you want to delete this? So this is the trigger. I'm just giving you a simple example to illustrate the concept of trigger. Means before deleting that folder, you are getting that message that are you sure you want to delete this or not. So this is what a trigger. In the same way in database you are also going to create a trigger. Means whenever you want to perform particular operation on the database, and for that operation you want to create a trigger, so it is possible. So what is trigger? Trigger is a block of code that gets automatically executed in response to certain event. That means whenever I'm going to insert a data into a table, I want that database should notify me that the row is going to insert into table. So trigger gets executed automatically whenever particular action is performed on the table. So here we'll see what are the different operations when you are going to perform on the table. So at that time trigger gets executed. So first of all, you understand what is trigger. So trigger is a certain block of code which gets automatically executed when certain event occurs. Okay, so this is what a trigger, block of code which is automatically executed in response to certain event. Now what is that event? That event can be a insert, update and delete. Means whenever you try to perform insert operation on the table, at that time trigger can be generated. Whenever you try to perform update operation on the table, at that time also trigger can be generated. Whenever you try to perform delete operation on the table, then trigger can be generated. So for these three particular operation, insert, update and delete, trigger can be generated. Okay, trigger can be generated for these three operation to be performed on the table. So trigger can be fired before or after performing that operation. Means I just clear you that there are three events for which trigger can be applied on the table. First is a insert, second one is a update and third one is a delete. So in that case two options are available. Trigger can be fired before or after performing that operation on the table. Means before updating that particular data you should get notification, or after performing updation you will get a notification. So these two things are possible. So trigger can be fired before or after updating a table. So this is a simple diagram to illustrate the concept of trigger. So here we need to perform three tasks. One is update, insert, update and delete. So for these three particular operation we can create trigger on the table. So whenever suppose we want to get alert message whenever we want to perform insert, update or delete operation. So here you can see suppose I try to perform update operation on table 1, then automatically update trigger gets executed and it will display some kind of message. Similarly, when I try to perform insert operation on table 1, insert trigger gets executed, and when I try to perform delete operation on table 1, delete trigger gets executed. So trigger is a code that is executed automatically. So I hope you understand the concept of trigger. Now next we'll discuss the syntax, how to create a trigger on particular table. So syntax for trigger is create or replace trigger name. Create or replace trigger name. That means in this case create, you have to use this word create or replace. Replace word you can use, suppose same kind of name already exists, so you will try to suppose you are creating a trigger with the same name, so it will try to replace the existing trigger. Okay, so for that purpose you can use, and this is optional. It is not necessary that you have to use this word or replace. So create is mandatory, but the word which is given in this rectangular bracket is not mandatory. Create or replace trigger, then this trigger name is user defined, and for two event it can be generated, means before performing that operation or after performing that operation. And for what are the three operations for which trigger can be created? For insert, update or delete. Then on table name, we are going to create a trigger on particular table, so here we need to specify the table name. Then for each row, that means we want that updation, whenever updation is made on every row, then at that time trigger should be fired. And this is what a begin and end. So here what we are displaying, begin and end. So here we'll write a block of code, okay, which can be displayed. So here we can write anything that we want to display, that we want that trigger block to be executed. So that thing we can write over here under this begin and end statement. Okay, so this is what a syntax for creating a trigger. Now let's see simple example of trigger creation. Okay, so here what I will do, I will just create one table called as a bank. So I just created table bank with three attributes: customer ID, name and the balance. And now here I want to create one trigger for insert operation, means whenever I try to insert a data into a table, I should get notification. That means some alert message can be displayed whenever I try to insert a data into a table. That means I want to create a trigger for insert operation. So let's try to create this. So what I written here, create trigger. So I need to provide the name. So what is the name? Bank underscore insert underscore p4. So whenever you are providing a name to a trigger, you should be very specific. So here on which table I am going to create trigger? Bank. For what operation? Insert. And what is the timing? Before or update? Before. So in this way you have to specify the name for the trigger. Then here I want that this I should get a message before inserting a data into a table. Okay, so here I use this word before. Then on for what operation I need to create this trigger? Insert. What is the table name? Bank. For each row, that means updation is performed on every row, then I should get the message. For each row, begin. See, actually it is a PLSQL block. Okay, in case of a PLSQL block, you will find this begin, end, declare, begin, end. So that we'll discuss, don't worry about this. So this is, here I have written begin, beginning the body of the trigger, and then here I have written dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So dbms underscore output is a package under which one function is there, that is put underscore line. It just like a printf function. As in case of C, we are using a printf function to display the message. Similarly, in case of this database in PLSQL, suppose you want to display any message, you have to use this. So dbms underscore output is a package, and put underscore line is a function which is present in that particular package. And here I am displaying the message before insert of new dot name, means I want to display the name which is going to insert into a table. And then this end represent the end of this particular trigger. So this is how you can create a trigger. So here what I have done, I have just created table bank, then I have created a trigger, then I try to insert data into a table. Okay, I just execute this row, insert into bank, insert into bank values, insert into bank, insert into bank values in bracket 1 comma abc comma 500. So here what I done, I try to insert a data. Here I try to insert a data into a table trigger. So as soon as I execute this particular statement, I will get this message before insert of abc. What is that abc? Abc is nothing but a name. So this is what a simple example of creating a trigger. Now let's see execution of this trigger with the help of LiveSQL. I will demonstrate this with the help of LiveSQL. Okay, now see here, I'm just creating the table bank 5. I have just given the name create table bank 5. I'm creating this table bank 5 with 3 attributes: customer ID, name and the balance. So I here execute it. Okay, so here I got the message table is created. Next I try to create a trigger for insert operation, and the timing is before. That means before updating the data into a table, I should get a message. So for that purpose I'm just creating the trigger. Create trigger name is bank 5 is, that is name of table, operation is insert, and timing is before. So here I have written before. For what operation? Insert on what is the table name? Bank 5. And I want that this trigger to be executed for every row. Whenever I am making update to every row of the table, trigger should be executed. So here I am writing for each row begin dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So here I have just written the message before insert of new dot name, and then here end. So I try to execute this statement. So here trigger is created. So here trigger is created on table bank 5. Now let's try to insert one of the row into table bank 5. Okay, so whenever I'm trying to insert a row into a bank 5, so I'm getting this message before insert of RAM. So why getting this name? Because here I try to insert a row I try to insert a name RAM into a table bank 5. So this is how you are getting the message. Again I try to insert another row into a table bank 5, and let's check whether I get notification or not. Yes, again here you are getting the message before insert of RAM. Okay, now by using this you can also drop a trigger. Okay, by using this create trigger command I have created a trigger. Similarly I can use drop trigger command to drop the trigger which I have created. So what is the name of trigger that I have created? Bank 5 underscore insert underscore before. So I just execute this so that I will drop this trigger. Now here you can see trigger is drop. That means bank 5 underscore insert underscore before, that trigger gets deleted from the database. So in this way trigger gets dropped from the table. So I hope you understand what is the use of trigger, how to create a trigger along with the example. So again at the last I can say trigger is nothing but a kind of alert which can be generated. Okay, you need to remember a simple example. Whenever we try to delete a folder, we are getting the message. So this is what a trigger. In the same way we can create a trigger in case of a database, and which gets executed automatically when particular event occurs on the table. Thank you.